on the forum. And I will also explain you a little bit what is the purpose of Vacation Rental Safe Harbor, which is a spontaneous platform that just was created by professionals to try to figure it out, how to react, how to find options to solve the problems we have recently felt. So I thought it was very valuable, your feedback, because I have seen that you have been one of the principals who's been moving around and also providing a really useful help. I've seen the website, your webinars. As you know, I received we subscribe to your newsletter, so I get every single webinar. So I thought it was very interesting to go ahead with direct questions so people could make it clear or more clear, because there's some confusion in the sector. So thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you for having me on. And we're seeing the same confusion out there as well. The industry just is trying to grasp with the everyday task of staying in business, and then also all the other things that change on a constant basis daily with us, particularly.
Okay. Dennis, you're the executive director of Florida FVRMA, which is one of the largest vacation rentals in the US. I think it's mainly the largest, that also are federated with others, like the VRMA, no? Is that correct?
Yes, we're the largest in the United States.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit what is your main role right now? Try to coordinate information, but what are you actually doing for property managers that are looking for options?
So really the focus that we've been really dealing with lately is this COVID-19 crisis. We work with all property managers and also many of the vendors in the state of Florida and around the country that have also been faced with many of these challenges. We've put some dedicated pages together so that we can really disseminate the information out to these folks, whether they're a small company or a large company, or maybe they're even a homeowner, so that they can understand what's changing, sometimes hour by hour and day by day with this whole COVID-19 crisis. You've probably seen the governor's orders sometimes come out 2 and 3 times a day. There's restrictions specific to vacation rentals, and then also curfews and other things that are being rolled out across the state of Florida as well.
Yeah, I've seen that there were some confusions because initially, at the moment, the activity is forbidden in the state of Florida. Is that correct?
So the governor's order came out on March 28th, saying for 14 days there was a suspension of vacation rental activity. But there were also some exclusions to that, which meant that you couldn't book a stay between the 28th of March and April 11th. But if it was for a first responder or someone in the medical industry, there were exemptions for those folks. And then also you could book a stay for 30 days or longer. So it still allowed some longer term rentals, just not the short stays that typically we're used to with a guest. But I think we're kind of in the uncharted territory here where not many people are coming to vacation in Florida. They're usually trying to transition from another state to here for safety reasons, or sometimes they're transitioning from in-state, from one part of the state to the other. So it's been challenging, to say the least, but we're still seeing some activity and bookings happening around the state because of the exemptions that are put in place.
Yeah, we saw that, for example, some platforms, they still are providing bookings available for less than 30 days. So that was a bit confusing because property managers, many professionals were a bit confused by the fact that the main platforms still were allowing requests for a week, for example. But definitely going on the main issues, do you see also the long term like a way to keep bookings and keep the business running?
We are, and we're seeing, some folks who are looking more at the drive market in the future. the marketing and things are changing with each property management company and owner, so that they're looking ahead and saying, well, when we start coming out of this crisis, we're going to look at the drive market first and get people that want to travel short distances to Florida. I think that so many things are fluid right now. It's hard to predict where we're going, but people are using data a lot more efficiently now. We've got a lot of programs that are sharing data and showing, what the trends are on bookings now and in the future. So I think for our industry, it's going to help us in the long run. As we start to come out of this, probably in the next 30 days is what we're expecting.
Well, expectations, that there is a lot of speculation about when this crisis will end. It looks like in Europe, for example, it has taken more than 2 months. So taking into account that this crisis, even if it's 2 weeks since the governors and the authorities are doing something about it, it looks like really it started last week. So it looks like this crisis will end, at least the quarantine time of being at home, staying at home, will end by the end of June. So it may start up in July or August it may be relaxed, the measures, but this is low season in Florida. Do you think that maybe from the north, people will come to the south in summertime, or they will stay in the north as it's warm there?
Sure, that's a good question. I think that after we see all of the shutdowns and suspensions in the industry and across the country, it's almost going to be a breath of fresh air that people are going to want to travel regardless of the time of year. I think people are just going to want to get out and do more traveling, and they may change their habits quite a bit. I think everyone is going to be in that new travel mode, and safety factors and other things, but we have higher expectations that Florida is going to bounce back really quickly from this. I think everybody's going to deal with it differently. Even the theme parks in Florida, Disney and Universal and many of the others, they're all going to come back with a different outlook on how to run every aspect of their business. And I think the same is going to be for the vacation rental industry as well.
We saw, for example, last week, 200 airplanes came from New York to Miami before the restrictions were made. A lot of people coming from north to the south, and there were a lot of people renting homes long-term in the Miami area and also Miami Beach on the south of Florida. So we're supposed to expect that if this is going to take longer, that the numbers of bookings will also increase. So just to keep in mind, when is the hurricane season starting this year?
So hurricane season is June to November. So that hasn't deterred a lot of folks to come, but it really depends also on the intensity of the hurricane season. That's always something that we're worried about here in Florida. But the hurricane season is so different than what we're dealing with in this crisis, because there's just no telling what to deal with the coronavirus issues. Whereas we know the hurricanes are going to come in and they're going to leave, and usually we can gauge the timing on that. This has been a little bit different for us. Like the theme parks, they had certain tentative dates they were going to reopen, and now they're saying it's going to be in June. So we're hoping that, this can make its way through its system here in Florida, and we'll get back to business sometime soon in June.
Okay. So your expectations that maybe in June, July, business will come back. Okay. In Europe, for example, we have seen that vacation rental, as you know, is general, very general term. But if you go by segment, you will have urban areas, you will also have countryside, and you will have beachside. So we have seen in Europe, for example, that city areas or the city sector is being devastated. So there were a lot of cancellations, almost no tourists, no travels. But in the countryside area and summer or beach areas, we have seen that many bookings were running for July, August, etc. Do you think that this model will maybe reproduce in Florida? like the cities are going to be a little bit less fluent as they may be the beach or the mountain area?
I don't think so, because I think areas, they're going to generally attract to the theme parks in the Orlando market, even though it is a high concentration metro area. The beach properties always do very well in Florida because we have 800 miles of beaches. So I think we're going to be just roaring back into shape here in Florida. The situation we're faced with now is there's so many discrepancies in the market. So the governor puts out an executive order for a certain time frame, and now we have cities and counties and the local jurisdictions putting out something different. So it's been very hard for our property managers to even predict or to book anything in the short or long term, because they just don't know which rules are going to change on any given day. But I think, you're probably going to see the Orlando market come back very quick once the theme parks are open. The beach markets will do very well. You may have some sluggish areas, the ones that are heavily infected with coronavirus, that may take some time to rebound, but I think for the most part, we're going to see it come back pretty quick.
Oh, fantastic. Another question, maybe you're aware, it's been a lot of employment losses in our sector. Do you know if a lot of companies are firing people, or are they holding them with these governmental helps that are coming from the federal government?
So the programs, we at the Florida Vacation Rental Management Association, we're on a call 3 times per week with all the state agencies. I just ended one this morning. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays we're on calls with all the state agencies and get updates. The influx of layoffs are very heavy. They're seeing, I think we just heard today, 61,000 applications came in just yesterday alone, and the system's not being able to handle those. They've added 72 new servers to their system to try to keep up with everything. So the layoffs are happening in different parts of the industry. Some are taking advantage of the government assistance programs, the Paycheck Protection Act. Some are not. The smaller companies tend to be kind of the mom and pop who are family-run businesses. They're struggling to stay on and just stay in business and taking advantage of some of the loan programs and other things that are available now. But I think everybody's taking advantage of as many programs as possible that's coming out from the government, and we may see a second round of stimulus money that's going to come out. So it's going to be an interesting rebound depending upon the size of the company, what their expectations are moving forward. I think we're just going to have to be kind of optimistic that we're going to see this rebound pretty quickly. But there has been some significant layoffs in the industry, so we're hoping that's not going to hurt a lot of the companies that we're dealing with, for sure.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Denis. The purpose of this meeting was also to put on top of the table the big value that associations have, especially on these times. We have seen that the majority of the companies, the property managers, professionals, are not associated. They don't belong to a corporate body that defends. We have seen your association doing a lot of lobby, interacting with the authorities, bringing up fresh information, and we want also to encourage anyone seeing this or watching this video to affiliate and to become a member of associations, because we do believe that especially in these times is when you see the big value that they bring up to the sector and to their business. And I also want to thank you for all the effort you are doing. It's fantastic to see someone really going and pushing and doing it very well. So congratulations for it. And from the team that we all do via Vacation Rental Safe Harbor, which is an altruist team as well. But we really recognize that the effort that is doing it from different sectors is very, very important. And congratulations for that.
Well, thank you so much. And, we're constantly trying to change what we do as an association to stay ahead of the curve on where the industry is going and what's happening. And We just recently applied for a very large grant from the state of Florida. We're hopefully going to get approval of that. We're looking at implementing something really unique in the industry. It'll probably be the first in the United States, and it's a high school program to help high school students choose property management and vacation rental management in the future as one of their employment opportunities. So it's something we're going to be rolling out in July, and it's really exciting because we're at a time where I think that this new blood in the industry is going to be really, really a dire need as we move forward and things change, particularly with our workforce in the vacation rental industry.
Fantastic. It's very, very, very exciting and a really very good idea. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Denis. And I hope we can call you back again one of these days to comment with you other things. Thank you for giving us your time, and I hope to see you soon.
Well, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.